Hello everyone. I have a really big surprise to show you. Now, I've done a video where it did all the book introductions, green go circle directions, and sign-offs for those books for the new surprise. But right now I'm going to do a full in-depth look at the new surprise right there. If you want to know what the new surprise is, well, I got a brand new LeapPad. The old one that I've had for 20 years gave out and broke. So then I got another LeapPad that got delivered four days ago on Monday. And unlike the old one, this new one right here comes with this carrying bag. See that? It says Leapfrog LeapPad Learning System right there. The old one did not come with this carrying bag, but this new one I got does come with it, and it's very cool. If you want to know where I put the new LeapPad in, well, I will open this bag up and I'll show you where it is. It's right there. So this is a new LeapPad, and if you want to know what I did with it on the front, well, I decorated it with pictures of characters from Clifford the Big Red Dog. And this new LeapPad looks exactly like my old one because it is the 2001 model with the green design on the closed part of the system and the blue design on the right. That's the original version of the 2001 model with the green closed part and the blue part on the right. There's another version where it's the opposite, where it has a blue closed part and a green part on the right, but this one is the original 2001 model with the green closed part and the blue part on the right. And there's another version that has a pink closed part and a purple part on the right. I remember playing with that version very briefly when another friend had it in like the early 2000s. So that was a very long time ago. Now, when you open it up, this is what it looks like. And I was able to put all the books and cartridges for the... No. I was able to put all the cartridges into this, from this system, into this bag. Now, if you want to know where I put the books from the system, well, I will show you. I put these books for the original LeapPad learning system into this little bag right there. I will show those off one at a time. So the first one is the LeapPad Interactive Book, a collection from the LeapPad Library book. That book is the default book used for the 2001 LeapPad learning system. And if you go over to the very first page, you see there's a picture of the LeapPad learning system. This is more of a prototype design of the 2001 LeapPad learning system model because it looks a little bit different compared to the finalized version. Whereas the finalized version looks like this. Leapfrog is one of the most nostalgic companies that I ever grew up with. There's lots of different pages for this demo book right there. And there you go with the demo book. Now the next one is called A Tad Too Much. This book is one of the earliest LeapPad books to come out, as this book was released in 1999 when the LeapPad learning system was launched. It's narrated by Whoopi Goldberg right there. And I know for a fact that I do know that Moving Game Lover 98 has a couple of LeapPad books as well. I'm pretty sure he has this, A Tad Too Much. He also has A Surprising Teacher. He also has Thomas the Really Useful Engine. But anyway, here is the first page for it. Anyway, this is A Tad Too Much book from 1999. The LeapPad was actually invented by inventor Jim Margraff, who was apparently an inventor. And believe it or not, Jim Margraff was the original LeapPad storyteller at the time. He's the one that tells the viewers or tells the people to touch the green ghost circle with their pen in those books, mainly from 1999 until around 2002. Which is when other people would start saying those directions. But here's this next book. This is Disney Princess Stories. This book was released in 2002, and this is from the Leap Start series. Preschool K up to age 5, meaning preschool to kindergarten. And this is what the finalized LeapPad learning system design looks like on the first page right there. There's a little bit of wear and tear on the first page, but the rest of the book is perfectly fine. This book adapts 3 different Disney films in one book. The 1937 film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the 1950 film Cinderella, and the 1989 film The Little Mermaid. And so, for example, and Leapfrog makes different products or different interactive books and cartridges that are either original stories with Leapfrog characters, Leap, Lily, and Tad, or are based off of popular films and television shows like Winnie the Pooh, or Thomas the Tank Engine, or Arthur, or SpongeBob SquarePants, or Scooby-Doo. I wish Leapfrog could have put out some interactive books and cartridges of shows that didn't get a chance to be adapted, like Clifford the Big Red Dog. Although Leapfrog made a Clifford the Big Red Dog game for the Imagination Desk, Discovers the Four Seasons, and a couple of Leapster games from Leapster are Clifford the Big Red Dog games as well. But for the LeapPad, I wish Leapfrog could have adopted Clifford the Big Red Dog episodes into LeapPad interactive book and cartridge form. Another show that I wish could have been adopted was Dragon Tales, and the Flintstones, and even some Disney films that didn't get adapted into the LeapPad learning system, like Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, etc. There are a bunch of different opportunities Leapfrog could have done, but they missed out on those shows and films. But anyway, I did imagine the first few pages from the Little Mermaid portion of Disney's princess stories to be an excerpt at the end of the fan-made LeapPad interactive book and cartridge adaptation of the Clifford episode Princess Cleo, being released in November 2002, which I thought would fit because both the main story, Princess Cleo, and the excerpt from Disney Princess stories are about princesses in general. In terms of who would narrate those fan-made Clifford books, we'll have John Ritter do it for the books released from late 2000 to very early 2004. And then Christian Crawford, who was actually a Leapfrog narrator for the My First LeapPad Learning System books from 2001 to 2003. She would be the one taking over from John Ritter after Ritter's passing, and she would be the one to narrate the regular LeapPad Clifford books from April to November 2004 before Harry Groner, who I would imagine voiced Clifford in seasons 4 and onward of Clifford the Big Red Dog, doing the narration, props, directions, and games beginning in 2005. Oh, this next one, I know Husky Dog 88 is really going to enjoy this, because this is one of his favorites, The Lion King. This is one of the Disney films that was actually adapted into a LeapPad book and cartridge adaptation. Other Disney films that were adapted into LeapPad books were Pixar films like Toy Story 2. I don't have that one. Monsters Incorporated. I don't have that one. Finding Nemo. The Incredibles. Cars, and Ratatouille, to name but a few. Anyway, this book was also released in 2002. Now, I would imagine pages 2 and 3 of the Lion King book to be an excerpt shown at the end of the Clifford the Big Red Dog book, Clifford the Pirate King, from January 2003, along with pages 2 and 3 of Thomas the Really Useful Engine afterwards. With the Clifford the Pirate King book showing excerpts from pages 2 and 3 of The Lion King and Thomas the Really Useful Engine. Pages 2 and 3 of The Lion King and pages 2 and 3 of Thomas the Really Useful Engine, respectively. Now, this is the Lion King book. Here's the last page. And I'm pretty sure Disney Princess Stories also has the last page look like this as well. Yeah, there's Disney Princess Stories last page. And the last page of The Lion King looks like this. So yeah, it is the same. Let me see. I'm going to put Lion King back there. All right. Next one is Thomas the Really Useful Engine. This, I know Moving Game Over 98 also has this book, Thomas the Really Useful Engine, although his version has a little bit of a different cover. It looks more red and has the words Leap Start Pre-Reading on it, like my copies of The Lion King and Disney Princess Stories. But this is like a reissue from, let's say, around 2004. Here's the first page for that one. And yeah, that's Thomas the Really Useful Engine. This book was originally released in 2002. And there you go, with Thomas the Really Useful Engine, part of the pre-K to kindergarten category, right there. Now, another book I have in the pre-K to kindergarten category is Stanley Surprise Safari. This book was released around 2004. And it comes with interactive cards. This book comes with interactive cards. I used to have those interactive cards, but I don't have them anymore. Another one that comes with interactive cards is Leap and the Lost Dinosaur. But anyway, here's the last page for Stanley Surprise Safari. Now, the next one is Smart Guide to Kindergarten. A book that was released around either 2003 or 2004. Here's the first page of it. And at the end of this book, it shows excerpts from Alphabet Adventures. And Thomas the Really Useful Engine also shows excerpts from Alphabet Adventures at the end of the book. But along with The Lion King, while The Lion King also contains excerpts from lots and lots of honeypots at the end. And Smart Guide to Kindergarten also shows excerpts from not just Alphabet Adventures, but also Tad's Good Night and The Lion King. The next one. This is Scooby-Doo and the Disappearing Donuts. This book was released in 2001. And this is one of the books with the prototype 2001 LeapPad learning system design. Scooby-Doo is another show from Hanna-Barbera like the Flintstones, which, like I said, I wish Leapfrog adapted episodes of the Flintstones into LeapPad interactive books and cartridge adaptations as well. And let's have the Clifford book Doggy Detectives from 2002 use an excerpt from Scooby-Doo and the Disappearing Donuts at the very end of the book. Because I thought it would fit. Well, I'll also include it in the Kibble Crook in addition. Next one, I know Husky Doggy is a big fan of this TV series. This is called Arthur's Lost Puppy. Unfortunately, I think this is adapted from the season 1 episode, Arthur's Lost Dog, which I know Husky Dog 88 does not really like that episode of Arthur to begin with. Leapfrog made a couple of other Arthur books for the LeapPad learning system, like Arthur and the Lost Diary and Arthur Makes the Team as well. This book was released in 2001 and is one of the earliest books to use the finalized LeapPad design right there on the first page. Which Clifford books beginning in let's say November 2001 and onward would use that finalized design. This book contains an excerpt from Leap's Pond at the end of the book. All right. Now, here is the next book. This is Finding Nemo. And like Arthur's Lost Puppy and Scooby-Doo and the Disappearing Donuts, this book also belongs in the Leap 1, preschool grade 1, ages 4 to 6 category. Fan-made Clifford books for the LeapPad learning system from 2001 to 2003 would also fall into the Leap 1 category. Now, this book was released the same year the film was released in theaters. The film was originally released in theaters in 2003, and that's the year this book was released. And there's the last page of it. Next up is another book from 2003 in the Leap 1 category, but this one is a bilingual Spanish and English bilingual book called Fiesta in the House, or Party en la Casa in Spanish. And as for the book Finding Nemo, I'm going to have an excerpt from that book at the end of the Clifford book Wedding Bell Blues. Now, this book was also released in 2003. There's the first page. I'll show you a few pages of it. Here's the last page of it. Next one is a LeapPad plus microphone book. This is phonics number 1, also known as Alphabet Adventures. In the pre-K to first grade category. (2004) book release. The book was originally released in 2002 in the LeapPad phonics program, but this is a 2004 plus microphone reissue. I'll also include the excerpt from Alphabet Adventures, let's say in the Clifford book, Getting to Know You, along with the Smart Guide to Kindergarten, along with an excerpt from the Smart Guide to Kindergarten. And an excerpt from the Smart Guide to First Grade as well. Next one is another LeapPad plus microphone book, phonics number 2, also known as Tad's Good Night. 2004 plus microphone book. This book was originally released in 1999. And there's the last page of it. I might include an excerpt from this book at the end of the Clifford book, The Big Sleepover from 2001. Now the next one is phonics number 4, LeapPad plus microphone reissue, The Day Leap Ate Olives. This book was also released originally in 1999. This is a 2004 plus microphone reissue. Here's the last page of this book. Next one's another LeapPad plus microphone book, but this is a Dr. Seuss book, Hop on Pop. An excerpt from this book is also shown at the end of the book, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. This is in the kindergarten to first grade category, or K to first grade category. And as for Tad's Good Night and the Daily Eight Olives, that also went into the pre-K to first grade category, like Alphabet Adventures. A lot of these Dr. Seuss books are really funny. Speaking of one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, that's the next book I'm going to show off right there. It's also released in 2004, just like Hop on Pop. It's another LeapPad Plus microphone book as well. Also in the kindergarten to first grade category. And there's the excerpt from Hop on Pop at the end. The next four books all have the late 2004 Leapfrog logo on it. This next book is from 2005, and this is called Anna's First Ballet. Part of the kindergarten to first grade category, of course. This is a regular LeapPad book. Here's the first page. Earlier books with the 2004 Leapfrog logo on the front have the picture of the 2001 LeapPad learning system model with the 2000 Leapfrog logo on the first page still, which is pretty cool. For the time being. And there's the 2004 Leapfrog logo on the last page, with the books all showing the 2000 logo on there. Next one I have here is another book from 2005 with the late 2004 Leapfrog logo on the front, Madagascar. And much like Anna's First Ballet, Madagascar also features the 2001 LeapPad model on the first page with the 2000 Leapfrog logo on there. And this is one of a few books released between 2004 and 2005 that shows a page saying a sneak peek before the last page. And it shows The Smart Guide to First Grade and Leaping the Lost Dinosaur on this page. It's also shown on books like Shrek 2. The sneak peek page is also shown on books like Shrek 2 and The Incredibles from 2004. And if you look over here, there's the 2000 Leapfrog logo on the last page, even though the 2004 logo is on the front cover of Madagascar. And the next book came out in 2006, the same year the film was released. Cars. I'm pretty sure Movie and Game Over 98 may have this book, but I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure he does. This one has the late 2004 Leapfrog logo on the front. And this one has the 2005 Read and Write LeapPad learning system design on the first page. And here's the last page with the 2004 logo, with the 2004 Leapfrog logo, and all those books being updated with the 2004 Leapfrog logo on the last page. Now, the next book is one of the last LeapPad books released in 2007, Ratatouille. This also uses the late 2004 Leapfrog logo on the front and has the 2005 Read and Write LeapPad learning system design on the first page. And on the last page, there's a 2004 Leapfrog logo with Cars using the 2004 Leapfrog logo, and the other books, Finding Nemo, Leap and the Lost Dinosaur, and The Incredibles, getting back to using the 2000 logo. Next book we'll cover, all these books from 2005 were also in the kindergarten and first grade category. Madagascar was. Cars was also in the K to first grade category, and so is Ratatouille. Now we get into books that are in the first grade category. Starting with the first grade Smart Guide. Here's the first page of it. And this book contains excerpts from Finding Nemo and Fiesta in the House at the very end of this book. Next one we'll cover is Fiesta in the Town, Party in el Pueblo. Another book in the first grade category. I believe Smart Guide to First Grade, Smart Guide to Kindergarten, and Fiesta in the Town, Party in el Pueblo came out in either 2003 or 2004. Right, here's Fiesta in the Town, Party in el Pueblo. The first page for it. In the future, I will do a full run through of those books, or of one book at a time, and test those books out in their entirety. And in one of the pages in this book, when you press the ABC button with your pen, when the ABC song plays, it sounds almost exactly like the version from the Leap Start Learning Table. Especially when you click on the blue Spanish button. The Spanish vocals were recycled from the 2002 Leap Start Learning Table in Spanish, along with the 2005 Learn and Groove musical table, which was a reissue of the 2002 Leap Start Learning Table, with different page designs. Here's the last page of it. Next one is Leap and the Lost Dinosaur. This book also comes with interactive cards, just like with Stanley's Surprise Safari. But unlike Stanley's Surprise Safari, I do have interactive cards for Leap and the Lost Dinosaur. And there's the last page for Leap and the Lost Dinosaur. Now this next one is a Dr. Seuss book in the first grade category, Fox in Socks. This book was released in 2004. But unlike the other Dr. Seuss books, this one is not a plus microphone book. This is a regular LeapPad book in the first grade category. And here's the last page for Fox in Socks. Another LeapPad book I have in the first grade category is The Amazing Spider-Man. This was based off of a Marvel series, which I believe was made by Columbia TriStar Television and Adelaide Productions. And I think Adelaide Productions also played a part of Dragon Tales, even though we don't really see the Adelaide Productions logo at all. In addition to Sesame Workshop, formerly known as Children's Television Workshop, and Sony Pictures Television, formerly known as Columbia TriStar Television. And pardon me, folks. There's the first page of it. Stan Lee narrates this book. And here's the last page for The Amazing Spider-Man. Now we go to books in the Leap 2, grades 1 and up, ages 6 and up category. And this book is one of my all-time favorites. This is Hit It, Maestro. Classical composers and their greatest hits. I've had this book since 2010. And this is one of those books that actually inspired me to become part of an orchestra member, in which, of course, I do play. I will get into that after I go for the first page. In which, in the orchestra, I do play the tuba right there. This instrument. I do play the tuba right there in the orchestra. And we played a lot of music pieces in the orchestra that I've attended. And some of the pieces from the Nutcracker, that was my most recent orchestra show, is actually featured in this book, which was composed by Tchaikovsky. This book was released in 2001. Here's the last page. But yes, this book was partially the reason why I wanted to become a member of the orchestra in the first place, and luckily I attended it in 2024. And then I got a brand new tuba last year in 2025, which I can't believe it's already 2026 now as I'm making this video. Here is Superman. This book was released in 2001 as well. And it's in the Leap 2, grades 1 through 3, ages 6 to 8, activity reading, comic book and activities category. This one has a different LeapPad Pro design that is colored white right there. And there we go. And we'll stop right there and go on to the next part. All right, everyone. This next LeapPad book is called Scooby-Doo and the Haunted Castle. Now, this is in the grades 1 through 3, ages 6 to 8 category, and this is one of the first chapter books for the LeapPad. Released in 2001. And just like with Superman, Scooby-Doo and the Haunted Castle also uses the LeapPad Pro design, the white LeapPad Pro design, with the 2000 Leapfrog logo on there. Now, I'm not going to show you the full chapter books for Scooby-Doo and the Haunted Castle because that would take too long. But here's the last page for Scooby-Doo and the Haunted Castle. And the last LeapPad Scooby-Doo book is Scooby-Doo and the Zombies Treasure. Also released in 2001, and this is one of the last LeapPad books to feature the prototype 2001 LeapPad learning system design. Although some books from 2002, like Lots and Lots of Honeypots, uses the prototype LeapPad design as well. But for Clifford books, these fan-made Clifford LeapPad books would stop using the prototype 2001 LeapPad learning system design after November 2001. So beginning in December 2001, they would switch over to the finalized LeapPad design for LeapPad books, for Clifford LeapPad books, and it would continue on until September 2005 for them, for those fan-made Clifford LeapPad books, that is. And then for Clifford books, let's say from November 2000 to September 2001, used the 1999 LeapPad design. The green and blue 1999 LeapPad learning system design. From November 2000 to September 2001, with the 1998 Leapfrog logo in the 1999 LeapPad design. Despite the books from June to September 2001 using the 2000 logo on the front, the 1998 logo would be shown in the 1999 LeapPad design on the first page for fan-made Clifford books released from November 2000 to September 2001. And then from October to November, they would switch over to the prototype version of the 2001 LeapPad blue and green LeapPad design, the prototype version of the LeapPad design from 2001, before switching over to the finalized LeapPad learning system design from 2001, beginning in December 2001 until September 2005. And then for fan-made Clifford books from 2006 to 2007, they'll switch over to the 2005 Read and Write LeapPad learning system design. Now anyway, back to Scooby-Doo and the Zombies Treasure. And here's the last page of it. And here's the next LeapPad book. This is SpongeBob SquarePants Salty Sea Stories, grades 1 through 3, ages 6 to 8, Leap 2 interactive book and cartridge for the LeapPad. And it's an activity storybook. This book was released in 2003. And there's the finalized LeapPad learning system design on the first page. And here's the last page for SpongeBob SquarePants Salty Sea Stories. The next one is the second grade Smart Guide. Now, the voiceover in the Smart Guide to Second Grade book is completely different from the first grade and kindergarten Smart Guide books, in that the announcer's voice is a little bit deeper and it's a different person. But it's still a Smart Guide book regardless. There's a little bit of damage in the first page and the second page, but that's because I've had this book for a very long time, ever since 2008. This book was released in 2004. We're not that far off into finishing. Next up is The Cat in the Hat. Based off of the 2003 film with Mike Myers, this book came out in 2004, I believe. As it says, based on the movie, this is a second grade LeapPad book, just like the Smart Guide to Second Grade. And at some point in the future, I will go into more further detail on the fan-made Clifford LeapPad books. But that was the last page for The Cat in the Hat. Next one is called Shrek 2. This is based off of the 2004 film. And this book also came out in 2004. Wait 1 second. Here we go. This is another second grade book. Here's the last page for Shrek 2. And here is The Incredibles book. This film was released in theaters in November 2004, and this is one of the last LeapPad books to use the 2000 Leapfrog logo on the front. As you know, LeapPad books use 3 different Leapfrog logos depending on the year they were released. There's the 1998 Leapfrog logo that is used on very early LeapPad books from 1999 to like 2000 and possibly 2001, where it just has the Leapfrog logo with the frog on top of the square, but there's no circle across it. The late 2000 Leapfrog logo has the frog on top of the Leapfrog square, but it has a circle across it, which is this one. And then the late 2004 logo just has the words Leapfrog in green in all uppercase, but with no frog or square at all. Here's the first page for The Incredibles. And like Shrek 2, it also contains a sneak peek. Shrek 2 contains Smart Guide to Second Grade and Hit Maestro as the sneak peeks, whereas The Incredibles uses a sneak peek from Smart Guide to Second Grade as well, along with the Smart Guide to Third Grade, along with the Smart Guide to Third Grade, right there. Here's the last page. Now, the only book in the Leap 3 category that I have is Amazing Mammals. This book was originally released in 2000, but this is the 2001 reissue. And this book also uses the LeapPad Pro translucent blue and black design on the first page, just like with Hit It Maestro, and it's got the 1998 Leapfrog logo in that model, just like with Hit It Maestro. And here's the last page of Amazing Mammals. Now we get into 4 Clipchamp books. There's The Human Body, which is a science book. The Clipchamp was launched in 2002. Here's the first page of it. And the last page of it. go. Next up is the 7 continents. Oh, and the human body is part of the fundamentals series. Geography is part of the above and beyond series. The 7 continents, that is. Here's the first page of it. I'm not going to go through everything, but here's the last page. The second to last quantum pad book that I have is The Night at Dawn, which is a Magic Treehouse book, the second Magic Treehouse chapter book. Here is the first page. I'm not going to go through everything for time constraints. Here is the last page. Which there we go. Unfortunately, the last page came apart a little bit, but this is what it looks like when it's put together. About like that. And there you go with The Night at Dawn. And the last one is 4th grade history. This book was released in 2003. And here's the last page for 4th grade history. And there we go. Now, in terms of who would narrate the other fan-made LeapPad books, let's imagine the fan-made Disney LeapPad books, like Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi, 101 Dalmatians, Sleeping Beauty, Mary Poppins, Jungle Book, and the Aristocats would have famous Disney announcer Mark Elliott, and for other LeapPad books, other fan-made LeapPad books, I had mentioned Clifford the Big Red Dog ones would have John Ritter, and then Christian Crawford and Harry Groener. For the Alice in Wonderland, fan-made Alice in Wonderland LeapPad book, will have the voice of Alice herself. Catherine Beaumont did a narration, props, directions, and games. And for Flintstones books, we'll have John Stevenson do the narration, props, directions, and games. And as for the Dragon Tales ones, we'll have Eli Gabay as Quetzal do the narration, props, directions, and games for these fan-made Dragon Tales LeapPad books. But these are all just in my imagination. So Elliot, Beaumont, Ritter, Crawford, and Groener and Stevenson would narrate these fan-made books. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the big surprise. This was split into 3 different parts. And I will see you later.